Hello and welcome to Quantum Heart Awakening. My name is Karen and today we're going to do a twin flame reading. Okay, before I get into it, I have to speak about what's moving through me in the energies. I had an experience this morning where I almost had it felt like the aftermath of a near-death experience. Nothing happened. I did not have a near-death experience. But the level of awareness, awakening, and gratitude that arrived in my system for this journey, for this path, felt like a near-death experience. And then I watched one of my favorite readers, and she had a similar experience on camera. And my mind was sort of blown, slash, it was also hashtag ordinary, right? We are being called to take the extraordinary out of God, the extraordinary out of this symbiotic relationship we're cultivating with the quantum field. Okay, so what does this mean for you guys? What does this mean for a message? I want to ground us in the twin flame journey. I want to ground us on this hierogamous path of consciousness, of relating, of grounding higher love in the 3D realm of matter. So let's just call it what it is. Nothing is as bad as it seems. Do you have food, water, and shelter? If you do, you are doing better than a big majority of the planet. Let's keep things grounded and in perspective. This experience I had this morning, I just had all of this gratitude arrive. It was like, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. It felt very much like that moment of awakening, of none of this matters. My fears don't matter. My contractions don't matter. What matters is that I have people in my life that I love and that love me. Love is all that matters. My connection to source is all that matters. And how I choose to come into relationship with this love in this body, that's what matters. So it's really, it's like my lens of the world has been cleared. And so I just wanted to help ground this twin flame reading of like, yes, let us honor that this journey is painful. It is brutal at times. It dismantles everything so that we can rebuild in a way that is rooted in divine truth, that is rooted in this divine love. Because here's the thing, if we're not grounding in divine love, if we're not experiencing love, cultivating love, like what's the point? What are we doing? We're off track if we're not calling our spirit back to love, right? So when in doubt, something I've said in really intense moments of my life, I've repeated this over and over again. I say surrender to love, surrender to love. Just surrender to love, surrender to love, surrender to love, just on repeat until I'm actually able to believe it and to do it, right? It's really easy to say to surrender. It's a whole nother thing to actually do it, mind, body, spirit. Okay, let's get into it. As always, the masculine on the left, feminines on the right, and the union energies down the center. I'm going to try to get one overall reading and see what happens. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Okay. So I'm just going to take these as union energies. So we have karmic completion in the center. We have financial discipline in reverse and parenting. So some of you are being called to parent to parent your finances, to parent your relationship with money, to parent your relationship with scarcity, to maybe rein in your spending if that feels alive for you right now. Granted, remember, union energies, this is for masculine and feminines. No one is left out right now. So yes, we are being called to come into a more responsible, loving, and caring relationship with our financial habits, with our financial responsibilities. And what do? Parents invest in the micro moments with their children to set them up for the future, to create a stable foundation so that their children will step forward into the world and hopefully be successful, right? And that could look like a lot of different things. You're not just preparing your child to be smart with money. You're preparing your child to be responsible, to be a kind person, to be compassionate and empathic, to be aware of their surroundings. You're parenting your child and helping them cultivate their inner voice, to find their voice. We are parenting our children to understand right from wrong, to use critical reasoning skills, to teach them not what to think, but how to think, right? That's something my father really hammered into us. Is he really believed in critical thinking skills. He really believed in more specifically, he believed in Jesuit education, because they were such intellectuals, and they really were about a well-rounded education, right? If you look up any Jesuit college core curriculum, it's usually much more extensive. Instead of taking one philosophy, you might take two, and two theology, and two sociology, and two whatever else, two languages, two arts, there's something here that we're all being called to parent in a well-balanced, full, robust, full-bodied way. Okay. Wow. Okay. On a personal note, with the people in my immediate circle, this financial discipline is very loud right now. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of layoffs happening. There's a lot of people who are finding themselves without jobs, whether that's intentional or unintentional. The core and the call for a more intentional financial lifestyle has been evident, right? It's like trending on social media. And we've been seeing it since COVID. You've been seeing a lot of people return to the homesteader lifestyle. A lot of people trying to live off the land. What are they doing? What is this act that they're doing? It's an act of sovereignty. They're taking their power back. They're scared, and they don't want to put their family's well-being in the hands of, big companies or big agro or big pharma or whatever you want to call it, right? They're calling their spirit back from places it doesn't belong. So instead of worrying if the supermarket is going to have groceries, they're choosing to grow their own food. That is a very powerful act of self-confidence, and that's a reclamation of power. Let's keep things balanced. Yes, these trends have been going viral, and it's also speaking into a greater awareness of one's own sovereignty, right? Taking back some sort of autonomy. I'm getting full body chills. This is a really intense topic. Do we want to go more into it? No, let's just, let me see if I'm going to use this deck and see what comes out just for fun. If nothing really works, then we'll switch. Anything for masculines? Anything for masculines? What do the masculines need to focus on? What is blocking this new beginnings? Okay, yeah. There's a block to something. Anything else you want to say about that, Spirit? Anything else for masculines? Synchronicities and completion. Very interesting. Very interesting. So new beginnings are not able to come in until something on the masculine side is has been completed. For feminines, anything for feminine, Spirit? Self-love. Okay. Feminines, this is coming out again. This is your work. It's not an accident. It's complete divine alignment. I mean, come on. Feminines, you have self-love, you have love, and you have follow your dreams in reverse. Okay. Delicious, beautiful feminines. I just said this to my consciousness friend. I call him my TFBFF, my friend Harry. He is my twin flame best friend. We have been in the trenches together doing this work for many years now. And I just said this to him a little bit ago. Okay. It's very easy. And I want everyone, masculines, feminines, this message is for everyone, but specifically feminines, pay attention. It's very easy when you've spent a very long time, and that is relative, right? It could be a month, it could be 10 months, it could be 10 years, it could be a lifetime. It's very easy that when you've spent a lifetime working on your own healing, to forget that you're actually incredibly gifted, talented, and valuable, that you are warranted. It's really easy when you get kind of, especially if you are a seeker on this path, it's very easy to feel that you're in this constant vulnerable state, that it's very easy to feel insecure the whole time, right? Because if you are constantly meeting yourself at the edge of who you are, at your edges, at your limits, right? That's a challenging place to exist. It's kind of a battlefield, right? You have to battle the internal parts. You have to battle your ego. You have to battle your inner contractions, your activations, and you're taking accountability. You're literally like going toe to toe with all these internal parts. It's really easy in that process to forget that you are worthy of actually going after your dreams, right? When you have been healing for a decade, it's really easy to forget why you started doing this and what you actually desire. Okay, what is going to clear that up is you returning to loving self, you returning to becoming the lover and the beloved you've always desired, right? Anytime we catch ourselves projecting this stuff out into the world, we flip it around. This is the twin flame skill, right? To flip it around, to look at the mirror image of something. What is this circumstance, this person, this situation reflecting back to me about me? If I desire XYZ in a partner, I flip it around. Do I embody XYZ? Does that feel true? If I don't, where can I do that work? Where can I take responsibility for those places where I'm not embodying that which I desire? Hold on, I need to fix my floor. Okay. I'm standing on one of those memory foam things because I like to stand and do this, and it's rough on the back. Okay, you didn't need to know that, but whatever. Woo! Incredible, incredible reading. There's so much energy, and I knew it. I knew it this morning when I had that crazy mystical experience that this was going to be this direct of a message. Nothing's very airy-fairy here, people, right? This is all very grounded, strategic messages. Okay, do we need to say anything else? Let's see what's in the unconscious. Adventure in the reverse. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a false shadow. So you've heard me talk about false shadows. It's not, none of this is going to be what you think it's going to be. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to lean in. All right. Let me see. Okay. Let's get something for masculines, please. Masculines. Hold on. These cards are ginormous. It's hard to shuffle them on. Anything for masculines. Okay. We got a bunch. Power to visualize a better world. Heartfelt apology. Oof, this is mirroring last week's reading. Innocence and immune support. Okay, so let's just follow the literal nature. Masculines, take care of yourself. Honor that there's a vortex that you're in. Try to find your center in that vortex. Stand if you must, but keep your seat of the soul, right? Try to ground in self-care, get enough sleep, hydrate, eat healthy food, move your body. Those are the 4 core things, right? At bare minimum, do those things. And hygiene and all that, shower and, all those kinds of things, right? That's bare minimum. When you wake up, those are your bare minimum goals for the day. Okay. Sorry, this vortex is wild right now. Yeah, masculines, you're getting a similar message you got last week. In order to move forward, in order for you to come into a symbiotic relationship with the quantum field, you're going to have to take accountability and return to moments where you owe people an apology. This is difficult. You're going to confront the ego. The ego needs an enemy in order to, actually, hold on. I was reading again, Eckhart Tolle's New Earth. Where is it? I need to read this to you. It says the ego, and particularly the collective ego, strengthens itself through emphasizing the otherness of others. In other words, the ego needs an enemy for its continued survival, hence its refusal to compromise. I mean, come on, masculines. This is like, let's understand the beast that you're going up against. This is difficult. It's supposed to be hard. So don't judge yourself if you're struggling to conquer these, little mountains. You're going to conquer one and there's going to be another. And then you're going to conquer that one and then there's going to be another. And I understand how difficult it is when you're in the trenches to visualize a better circumstance for yourself. But that's what we're all training here to do, to look at circumstances through the lens of the highest and best possible interpretation. That is looking through the lens of our higher self, right? So as you clean up these messes in your life, masculine, sorry, that felt like insensitive way to say that. As you take accountability for these moments, these contraction, these fragmented pieces, these open bleeding wounds, you will return to your truth. You will return to your self-love. You will remember your sweetness and your innocence. When you have such a long ledger of things to take care of, it could be very, it's a slippery slope, and you could start to shame yourself, right, masculines? You could start to blame yourself and feel all of the, all of the pain, all of the shame for the parts of self that did not know better and thus could not do better. To forgive yourself, right? We worked on forgiveness the other day. To forgive yourself for not knowing how to do better. Forgive yourself for harming others because of your limitations, right? Honor this. Allow that egoic contraction to fall by the wayside. Return to love. Step into your role as the divine parent, masculine, and parent these parts of self that maybe failed to do certain things, that maybe caused a lot of pain and chaos and harm. It's okay. You are still worthy. You are still loved in these micro tragedies, right? You are still loved. There's still a piece of your innocence that exists within. There's your sweet inner child who, spilled the milk, right? We don't chastise a child when they're holding a glass that's way too full with milk for spilling it. They're all wobbly. They're learning about their balance, and they're figuring out how their legs and hands and body and big head works, right? There's a sweetness to this evolution. Masculines, I want to invite you to bring that sweetness to your evolution. You're being called to take radical accountability for completing things that are no longer serving you. And that, of course, again, includes closing the loop, plugging all of these places where you are leaking life force that are keeping you stuck in the past. That's another way to look at it. Look at the longer you withhold an apology or take accountability, the longer you put that responsibility off, or if you project it onto someone else, the longer you will, I'm forgetting my train of thought. That was so weird. Hold on. You know where I'm going with this. I think you probably know better than I do in this moment. My brain totally went blank. Hold on. It behooves you to take accountability and ground in your heart space, access that divine love, and really apologize from your core when it's warranted, when you're ready to do so. Do not waste your time and energy with half-ass apologies. Just don't do it. It's a waste of time for everybody, and it's going to create more karma for yourself. So there's no point. Only take action when you feel an embodied hell yes, when it's a full reverberation, when there's remorse, when you're ready to be vulnerable and bring truth to the situation. Wow, holy crapola. Okay, beautiful masculines. You're doing it. You're doing all the things. It's hard and it's difficult and it's maybe painful, and you're doing it. Let's honor that. Let's applaud you for doing it. Okay, feminines, what do we got? What do we got? All right, we have some cards here. I'm cracking up. Of course you got these. All right, feminines. You got sleep. Let me put these all here. You got sleep. You've got calm. You know, it's been across the board that feminines are being called to rest, right? When you rest, when you care for your vessel, you are honoring the vessel. This will nurture and nourish your self-love. You will respect self more when you take care of self, right? You also have new love, beautiful, and this could be internal or external, right? By caring for self, you will cultivate a new self-love, a new way of coming into relationship with your internal parts, with your struggle, with your pain. You understand that this was all for something. You didn't go, 20 rounds just to get knocked out and never, whatever. No, you're going for the championship. I don't know why I'm doing a boxing reference. Where the heck did that come from? That is not my language. And you have passion. Yeah, so a lot of this resting may ignite a new mission and purpose for you. It might ignite something that you've put on the back burner for years, maybe even since you were a little kid, that you love to do. There's so much delicious sameness in the feminine energy. Like, listen, feminines, your natural state of being is love. To receive love, to magnetize love, to create. When you create, that is an act of love. When we create a child, that's two people allowing love to create them, right? They allow love to create a new human. Quite literally, they birth a new human with this love. It's all love. I mean, is this not the best reading we've ever had? Okay. Union energies are a little dense and a totally different topic. I don't think we've ever had this happen before where it's so... These feel very much like accountability and taking care of self. And this feels like 3D, like watch your money. I don't know what that means. You're completing... Okay, another message that's coming through here, folks. I don't know why I said folks. It makes me think of that's all, folks. That's hysterical. Moving on. Another message here is that we have this karmic completion anchoring this entire reading. This is a higher call to completing your interaction and relationships with people, with places, with things, with your investments that are no longer serving you. This could be habits, patterns of spending, patterns of spending money or spending your energetic currency. Where are you investing your time? I don't care if you're not making any money right now or you're a gajillionaire. It doesn't matter. You're being called to be a more diligent steward of your energetic currency. Where are you making investments? Are they worth it? Do you even know what your investments are? How can you take more accountability for your investments? Okay, anything else for Union Energy Spirit? Anything else? Whew. It's like, I feel like I'm working up a sweat with this reading. It's so obvious. I don't think I've ever had a reading that's this clear cut. I mean, everyone has their job to do. It's very clear. Anything? Okay. Am I taking these? Yeah, why not? We're taking them. Okay, we have courage and transformation. We have seize the day. We have wisdom in reverse. We have nourishment in reverse. We have rebirth in reverse. Okay, no great shakes here, people. It's a slow process. The more you take accountability and step into your power and clean up your karma, the more all of this deliciousness unfolds for you. Seize the day, right? Carpe diem. We have the cherry blossoms here. There's a place near me where the entire park is surrounded by cherry blossoms. If you know anything about cherry blossoms, it's a very short window where they're fully in bloom and they don't get all gross and mushy and fall to the ground, and then you slip on them and it's a whole gross mess, right? They're stunning when they're in full bloom. It's like an Insta pic any which way you sort it, right? It's like so stunning. But again, there's a short window. So I don't like to ever frame any messages as a warning. That's not my bag. I don't like instilling fear in anybody. I don't think it's useful. I don't think it's supportive. This is just my personal PSA soapbox moment. If you're scrolling through YouTube and you find a reading that's like warning or any sort of like threatening language, do not click on it. It's clickbait, and they want to trigger your fear response so that you invest in that reading, so that you like it, so that you whatever. And what does it really gift you? It gives you a dysregulated nervous system. So be really mindful about, again, where are you investing your energy into? Is a reading or a title bringing you closer to love and curiosity, or is it bringing you closer to fear and contraction? This is a really important part of discernment. This is a part of tuning into your intuition, parenting self, loving self enough to not click on that thing, right? If you can't help but to click on it, you have your step one is in taking accountability for how you feel and not getting swayed by the intimidation of a YouTube title, right? I'm not demeaning that because that's real. That's happened to me. When I first started absorbing YouTube readings, I used to use them to trigger my shadows. And I did that in a really intentional way. And I had the skills and tools to navigate those situations. But if I feel triggered, there's something in that that's reflecting something back to me about myself that I get to take accountability for. However, if you don't have those tools yet, or if your plate is full, if you have a limited capacity, it is not the kindest thing, right? It is not of the highest and best good to trigger yourself by listening to another reading and another reading and another reading. So call your spirit back and really care for self. Okay, let's get some, I'm gonna get some New Orleans deck cards. Let's see. Okay, let's just do union energies here. Anything for union, anything. Okay, we have focus in reverse. We have, what does this say? What does that say? Spiritual knowledge. Okay, all right, okay. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm feeling all the messages in my body, and sometimes my mouth is going and I don't even know what I'm saying, but that's what makes it fun. And that's what makes it live. Okay, yeah, there's a greater call to accountability. We have step back here, and we have create your reality. I mean, I started this reading talking about a higher level of sovereignty. Ultimate sovereignty is taking full accountability and responsibility for your reality. What do you want to create? What feels good? What do you want to cut out? What do you want to limit? Listen, I don't care if it's your family, your blood. I don't care if it's your children. Well, I mean, we have responsibilities to children. Let me honor that. But you are allowed to cut out anything that no longer serves, even and especially if that's a family member. You can try till you're blue in the face to communicate your wants, needs, desires, fears, and boundaries. But if someone continues to meet your vulnerability with harm, with pain, with trauma, with blame, you are allowed to call your energy back. You are allowed to pull all of your investments in those things back home to self. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to, as I say this, I honor the difficulty of this when we have especially a family member, especially a parent who's completely dependent on us and is somehow still abusing us. My heart goes out to those situations. And I would just invite you to take care of self the best you can, to have really strong boundaries and to monitor your expectations of what you expect from these people, right? If they continue to meet you with criticism and judgment, yeah, you probably can expect that you're not going to get empathy and compassion out of them, right? So you want to set yourself up for success. So try to temper your expectations with these maybe limited people, right? That's just to minimize your own harm and suffering. Okay. And then in the unconscious, we have growth. Okay. So across the board, feminines and masculines, there is there are some blocks, right? There are some things showing up on our side of the street that we have to take care of and clean up so that we could have a safe road to travel down, right? If you're driving down the street and all of a sudden, a tree falls over, yeah, that might not be the safest area to navigate, or you might just be stuck in traffic. So what is the best course of action? Well, you can back up and try to find another road, or you can get out of your car and hopefully your community would support you, or the city or the town, and they would clean up that branch. Maybe they would chop it up into smaller digestible pieces so that they can lift and carry them out of the road. But remember, your road, your path is unique to you. No one else. You are your neighbors. You are the city. You are the town. You are the mayor. You are the citizens. It's like it all falls on you. And I know that could feel overwhelming and daunting. And yet it also, another part of yourself should feel excited and liberated to discover that everything is actually in your control. Like, you get to control it. We've been given the gift of free will. So we get to take responsibility for all these things that are showing up on our side of the street. And it's a pretty powerful experience, taking accountability, because you immediately reap the benefits. And since you are the only citizen of this town with this one street, it affects your life and who you are immediately, like in real time, instantly. The second you take accountability for something, it benefits your life immediately. Like, the proof is in the pudding. It's just boom, right there. Okay, let's see. How much time do we have left? No, you know what? I'm going to get some angel cards. We haven't gotten these in a really long time. Okay, Spirit, what? Oh, write them. This is the second card. You had spiritual knowledge up there, or we had. Let me include myself. We received spiritual knowledge in reverse. This is echoing the other reading I did. What do you need to do to reconnect with spirit? What do you need to do to reconnect with source? Have you visited your holy place lately? Whatever that is for you, your holy actions. Maybe it's going to church, mosque, a temple. Maybe it's going for a walk in nature. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's dancing. Maybe it's doing art, spending time with children, your children, family, whatever. What is the thing that gets you closer to the divine? What is it? Because you're being called to that. We also have spiritual understanding in reverse. It says, I am bringing you esoteric information and symbols and helping you understand spiritual truths. Again, it was in reverse. You have focus in reverse. So here's the thing. We are, how do I say this? The universe is in constant communication with us all the time. The only thing blocking this awareness is our own internal blocks. So we, again, are being called to take radical accountability to complete these karmic things that are blocking love. Whatever it is, we're being called to take radical accountability. And then the last card I'm going to get is clairaudience. Notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. Again, these reversals on all of this growth and all of these gifts are on the other side of this accountability. I'm going to leave it there, sending you so much love, and I will see you deliciously in the next one.